please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. You're watching Power Breakfast on CNBC TV18. Now back home on the Lal Street, the markets ended flat after a volatile day of trade. The Nifty ended flat, managed to hold on to the 10,600 mark. The Sensex too reclaimed the 34,000 mark with a slight negative bias. The mid-caps, they ended just shy of around the 19,000 odd mark, while the banks, they slightly outperformed with a bit of a gain, around 75 points. Ekta joins in to run us through all the cues that are stacked up for us. Hey Ekta, morning.
Hi Nigel, morning. Well, like you mentioned yesterday, in yesterday's trading session, the market did see buying at lower levels. So the Nifty recovered above 10,600 and the Bank Nifty eventually was in the green. So the FII's net sold around 1287 crores and the DII's net bought around 492 crores in yesterday's trading session. Now for today, obviously the biggest cue would definitely be the May expiry and the Bank Nifty options expiry. So the May series, the Nifty is absolutely flat. We've recovered to levels of around 10,600 and interestingly it's around been a 2% recovery within the May series itself, because we had hit lows of around 10,400 within this series. Now one of the big cues to watch out for today would definitely be the MSCI placing India and Brazil on notice for limiting investor access. So maybe there could be some amount of a sentiment negative on account of this, considering that India has 8.48% weight in the MSCI emerging markets index. Separately, however, there is news coming in from the Bank Nifty. So ICICI Bank, where there will be an inquiry to examine whistleblower complaint against the MD and CEO. So ICICI Bank is likely to be in the red today, but HDFC Bank could probably negate it because the ADR was up around 9% overnight. Maybe some of that would probably spill over in today's trade as well. In terms of the global markets, it's positive. US markets closed higher, Europe closed higher. Italy, the political uncertainty continues, but it was up around 2% overnight. So overall, it seems as though, okay, we are well placed when it comes to at least the global support, but not so much for the macros. So Brent crude has gained around 2% overnight, $77 per barrel for Brent crude. The rupee closed appreciated in yesterday's trading session, so let's see whether that manages to continue today. But given the kind of jump that we've seen in Brent crude, and GDP is out this evening, so 7.4% is where Q4 GDP is expected. A lot of result reactions: ONGC, Torrent Pharma, Apollo Hospitals, InfoEdge, just to name a few.
Okay, Ekta, you mentioned about the few stocks that will see their result reactions. Other than that, any stocks that you're watching out for?
Well, yes, I will be watching out for Ultratech, which has got the LOI from Binani Cement COC, or the Committee of Creditors. Saxoft, where the profit is up around 7% to 7.5% 7.5 crores Q on Q. Arcom, which has settled with Ericsson for around 550 odd crores. Atlanta, where PwC has resigned as an auditor of the company, and obviously that has probably been the theme in the past couple of days. So that would be important to watch out for in terms of a spillover on other stocks as well. And Canfin Homes, there's going to be a board meet to consider fundraising. Manpasan Beverages, the company is going to announce that it is about to begin a new facility, but remember that there are obviously other concerns on that particular stock.
Okay, all right, Ekta, thanks so much for us for that. Well, moving on then, the decision of Indian stock exchanges to stop licensing their indices to foreign bourses and NSE's subsequent legal tiff with the Singapore exchange, that's SGX, has not gone down well with global index aggregator, that's MSCI. The MSCI is now looking at placing India on notice for that particular move, but we're not alone. The index complier has also placed Brazil on notice. Now, according to them, India has flouted the anti-competition clause. They will now consult their clients before they announce the final result at the end of this year. Remember, India's weight within the MSCI EMs is a significant 8.5%. Well, the big story from the banking sector, ICICI Bank said that it has decided to institute an inquiry into allegations levied by an anonymous whistleblower against Chanda Kochhar. Now, the allegations are related to conflict of interest practiced by Kochhar while giving loans in certain cases. Ritu Singh joins us with more details on that. Ritu.
That's right. The board of ICICI Bank has instituted an independent probe to look into a whistleblower's charges against the bank's MD and CEO Chanda Kochhar. Now, this is in reference with the letter that was written by an ICICI Bank shareholder, Arvind Gupta, in 2015, alleging that the bank CEO Chanda Kochhar had given out loans to a Videocon group as a quid pro quo for his investment in her husband's firm. Now, the board said that the audit committee will be appointing a head of inquiry and together will be looking into allegations of violation of code of conduct by the bank CEO, as also allegations of quid pro quo in her dealing with some of the customers. In fact, they further said that the inquiry will be making use of forensics and email reviews if required. This is important also because it comes just 4 days after SEBI as well issued a show cause notice to the bank and its CEO Chanda Kochhar for alleged violation of disclosure requirements under the securities law, in this case, which involves the Videocon Group and New Power Renewables, which is the company that is run by Chanda Kochhar's husband, Deepak Kochhar.
Okay, thank you, Ritu, for that. But shifting focus to earnings now, ONGC's Q4 earnings were below estimates, with higher expenses hurting the company's margins. Sonal is here with a detailed view. Sonal, good morning. It is perhaps the end of the earnings season for you, but did it end on a good note?
I don't think so, Anisha. Well, you know, ONGC was way below estimates, majorly because of the operational miss that we saw in the margins. It was majorly led by the operating expenses that went higher. Also, not only the operating expenses, the exploratory expenses were also higher this quarter, and that's what led to lower margins. Profits, however, they were higher sequentially, but lower than our poll, majorly led by the higher finance costs and the tax rates. The main number that we always look out for is the crude realizations. That came in at $66.7 per barrel versus a poll number of $67.15 per barrel. If I run you through the numbers, the revenue went up by 4% at 24,000 crores. Our poll threw up a number of 24,000 crores only. EBITDA, that went down by 8.5% at 11,000 crores, and our poll threw up a number of 14,000 crores. But the biggest miss was on the margins that came in at 47.4% versus 54% last quarter. Also, the poll threw up a number of 54%. So that is where we saw the biggest miss. Profits went up by 18% on a quarter-on-quarter basis at 5,900 crores, but it was lower than our estimates because the finance costs went up by 91% and the exploratory costs, that also went up by 89%. It was the offshore segment that actually saw the weakness in terms of the EBIT margins. In terms of brokerages, Kotak says that they are cutting their estimates by 2% for FY19 and 6% for FY20, and also reducing their target price. CLSA, on the other hand, says that they will be increasing the target price because they are targeting higher crude and have increased the target price to 240 from 225 currently.